right now.
Good morning. We're up. You're up. It's Tuesday, March 19th.
Thanks for joining us. We hope you're enjoying this cool weather, although I guess later today will be officially spring.
That's right. By tonight, Mike Osterhage has the exact time, the beginning of spring.
Just after 10 o'clock tonight, when the rays of the sun move across the equator and get into the northern hemisphere. But I'll tell you what, that's only on paper right now, because it sure doesn't feel like it. Winter is not giving up easily. We're at 50 right now. No wind to speak of. That dew point, that bottom number is at 40, so we still can drop down a few more degrees. We're still going to be dropping down a few more degrees. Clouds may act like a little bit of a blanket. Got partly cloudy skies throughout much of the area right now. And then as the clouds increase throughout the day, not getting much warmer. You're going to need a jacket pretty much all day long. As far as the aquifer, yesterday's reading went up just 1/10 of a foot. We'll take anything that's going in that direction. And the allergens, anybody else getting affected by oak right now? It definitely went up. Mold actually came down from the previous day's reading, but oak went up, and hackberry and mulberry are both on the low side. Look at some of the temperatures around the area. We are very consistent as of right now. Everybody's in the mid 40s, couple of 50s out there, and we don't have much of a breeze, which is a good thing because we would have a little bit of a wind chill. But I mean, you know, even a puff of wind there at 6 miles per hour with these cooler temperatures kind of sneaks down the back of your neck. So we're not going to be dealing with a whole lot of wind today. Cold start, increasing clouds, like I said, low 60s throughout the day today. And then tomorrow, still on the cool side for the first full day of spring. And we'll start to see a few showers late tomorrow, more likely in the nighttime hours, and then especially overnight into Thursday. Showers, a couple of thunderstorms, and looks like some of those are going to be lingering around here throughout the day Thursday and then sliding off to the east. And some of those may be on the strong side. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a couple of moments. Then weekend, which I do include Friday, and that's going to be hot and plenty of sunshine on Friday. We hit 80 on Friday, then sort of ease back a little bit, and right around normal temperatures, mid 70s, and plenty of clouds over the weekend. All the details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Getting ready to hit the road. It's cold enough to warm up your car, RJ?
You know what? I did not, but it was very cool outside. I would not blame anyone if they decided to do that. And by the way, I did raise my hand, Mike, when you talked about the oak in the air. Definitely feeling that out there. As we take a look here, TransGuide traffic cameras, 281 to Corey, traffic moving pretty good, both directions there. Same situation there on the west side at 98 Nogalitos. So good news is that for the most part overnight, no major crashes, incidents, or delays to let you know about, but the biggest thing that we're dealing with is this ongoing traffic, especially on the northeast side. So there's going to be a lot of work that's going to be done over the next few weeks as part of the northeast expansion. And the biggest sort of chunk that we're seeing right now is this construction taking place on 35 southbound from Weidner all the way down to Walsham. So again, they are doing a lot of the work here, asphalt work. So it's being called basically the milling overlay work that they're doing, but basically they're working on the asphalt. A lot of that asphalt that's been rutted over the past couple of weeks because of a lot of 18-wheelers and just the amount of congestion that we see in that area. So we have that going on. We also have this exit ramp that's blocked there, I-10 eastbound at Culebra Road. So if you're coming in later on from the northwest side and you need to come into the downtown area, keep this in mind. This exit will stay blocked or closed until this Friday. So again, they're going to detour traffic all the way to Colorado Street. So again, the exit at I-10 eastbound at Culebra Road, that is closed off for the next couple of days or so. So make sure to make alternate plans if you need to take that exit. Everything else is looking pretty good for the most part, guys, as we see kind of smooth sailing throughout the city of San Antonio. Mark and
Thank you, RJ. Well, jury has sentenced a San Antonio man in a child abuse case to life in prison. Jurors deliberated for a little under an hour last night before delivering their guilty verdict against Jose Ruiz. He was charged with injury to a child causing serious bodily injury in connection with the death of 5-year-old Mercedes Lozoya in February of 2022. Now, Ruiz and Katrina Mendoza, who is Mercedes' mother and Ruiz's girlfriend at the time, took the girl to a Southside hospital where she was pronounced dead. An emergency room nurse testified that Mercedes was covered in bruises from head to toe and front and back. Mercedes' great-grandmother shared her thoughts after the sentencing last night.
This is an example that we have to believe in the justice, which wasn't easy at first, but I do believe in it now and more than ever. And if you ever see any child suffering, do not hesitate to call police or call authorities.
Was justice served today?
Yes, justice was served, and I'm very, very thankful for that.
Katrina Mendoza testified against Ruiz as part of a plea deal, telling jurors that he severely disciplined the little girl. Ruiz was sentenced to life in prison for his first count, 20 years in prison for his second count, and 10 years in prison for counts 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Those sentences will run concurrently.
In Utah, new allegations in a case against Corey Richin. She's the mother accused of killing her husband Eric by poisoning him with fentanyl, then writing a children's book on dealing with grief. Investigators now claim Richins may have had help from her mother, Lisa Darden. Newly unsealed documents reveal Lisa was living with a woman back in 2006 who also died suddenly from an overdose. Investigators say Darden benefited from her partner's life insurance policy. It's similar to what Richins allegedly tried to do when investigators say she changed Eric's life insurance policy just months before his death. Richins has pleaded not guilty to all charges.
No one won the Powerball jackpot last night. It was valued at an estimated $645 million. Since no one won that jackpot, it is now up to $687 million for tomorrow night. According to the Texas Lottery, 2 people in Texas matched 5 out of 5 numbers without the Powerball. So 1 person in Houston and 1 person in Donna near McAllen won $1 million. Meanwhile, the Mega Millions drawing is tonight. That jackpot is at $875 million.
This morning, former President Donald Trump facing a possible financial crisis.
A judge is ordering him to post a $464 million bond in his civil fraud judgment.
Now, as ABC's Perry Russum reports, his lawyers are calling it a practical impossibility to raise that kind of money.
Former President Trump's lawyers say securing the money to pay the $464 million bond is a practical impossibility. Trump's lawyers say they're facing insurmountable difficulties after approaching more than 30 insurance companies for help and being rejected each time. The issue being Trump does not have enough cash on hand, and the insurance companies would not take his properties as collateral. Trump was found liable for fraudulently inflating the value of his properties to get favorable bank loans. Trump is appealing the ruling and has until next week to secure a bond.
We are prepared to make sure that the judgment is paid to New Yorkers.
If Trump does not find the money, New York Attorney General Letitia James could ask the court to start seizing his properties. This comes as Trump faces more backlash for his latest incendiary remarks, saying yesterday Jews who vote Democrat should be ashamed and hate Israel. On Sunday, Trump wrote online that former Congresswoman Liz Cheney and other members of the January 6th committee should go to jail. And on Saturday at a rally in Ohio,
please rise for the horribly and unfairly treated January 6th hostages.
Trump paid tribute to those who attacked the Capitol on January 6th and used the word bloodbath when describing what would happen to the auto industry if he's not elected. Trump insisting he was not talking about political violence, saying I was simply referring to imports allowed by crooked Joe Biden, which are killing the automobile industry.
As for the Jews who vote Democrat should be ashamed statement, Biden's campaign team says the only person who should be ashamed is Trump. Biden's team is accusing Trump of having an affection for violence and a thirst for revenge. Perry Russum, ABC News, Washington.
On a much lighter note, Sunday night, the Spurs got a much-needed win after trailing the Nets by 10 points with about 6 minutes left in the fourth. They fought back to get the 122-115 victory in overtime up in Austin. Spurs outscored Brooklyn 12-5 in overtime. It was a sweet win for Wemby and his teammates.
I love it. I think it's the moment, those moments where we progress the most. Where we get better. Rather than any other moment in the game, so it's really, really enjoyable, but especially when you win.
It does feel good to close out games, and we came back from a deficit and we stayed together, and winning. They went into overtime and we still pulled it out. So I was happy. I feel like it was a really good win. So.
Next, the Spurs back home tonight. They welcome the Dallas Mavericks to town. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. over at Frostbank Center.
Go Spurs, go.
Go Spurs, go. Right now, it's 5:09, 49 degrees.
Up next, how YouTube is changing the way that content creators can present AI-related videos on its platform.
And cracking down on what's being called crime tourism. Up next, who those suspects are mainly targeting and how a new police initiative is looking to cut down on the new trend.
And let's look out there with live cam this morning. Starting cold, we're at 49 degrees this morning. It's going to kind of stay cool throughout the day, so you're going to want to grab that jacket and keep it around. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's 5:13. Well, the Los Angeles Police Department has launched a task force to crack down on what's called crime tourism, when individuals come to the U.S. on short-term visas to commit crimes. ABC's Kana Whitworth has the details in today's GMA First Look.
In this morning's GMA First Look, cracking down on what's being called crime tourism.
We have a significant increase in burglaries from organized groups.
Authorities say theft groups are coming in from South America, entering the U.S. on tourist visas to target upscale neighborhoods, breaking into homes, stealing jewelry, cash, and other luxury goods.
They come into this country or many other countries around the world as well on 90-day visas and take advantage of our systems and our laws.
Surveillance video showing two different residences being burglarized in Redlands, California. One man shining a flashlight into a dark home, and then at another home nearby. These three thieves smashing the window before entering. And we'll have much more on what law enforcement is doing to combat this new trend in thefts coming up at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, I'm Kana Whitworth, ABC News, Los Angeles.
It's now 5:14.
Up next, why Sony is reportedly pausing production of its PlayStation VR2 headset.
Checking TransGuide right now. Let's see which camera pops up. That was Highway 90. There's 281 at San Pedro. RJ is standing by, working hard, and he loves his job. We'll be right back.
Y'all, Wayfair makes it so easy to create a home you'll love. It's the talk of the neighborhood. Kelly, I just Wayfared. That's Wayfair, saving time, saving money. You Wayfared your whole bathroom? Even the vanity. When I Wayfair, I Wayfair. You know? Oh, I know. This is nice. Another Wayfair day.
You know it. New couch in just 2 days.
Wayfair word is out. Wayfair, you've got just what I need. I've always wanted to do that.
Mucinex Night Shift starts working at bedtime to fight your worst nighttime symptoms. How could you? And leaves your system fast. By the time you wake up, you're ready to take on the day. Try it and feel the difference. Mucinex Night Shift. It's comeback season.
I'm adding Downy Unstoppables to my wash. Now I'll be smelling fresh all day long.
On a crowded bus.
Still fresh.
Later, she sniffs a worn sweater.
Still fresh.
Get 6 times longer lasting freshness plus odor protection. Try for under $5.
5:18. YouTube has issued new rules for creators who upload AI-generated content. ABC's Rhiannon Alley has details in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, new rules for AI on YouTube. Creators must now indicate whether uploaded realistic-looking videos depict altered or synthetic media. Now, the goal is to flag items that could easily be mistaken for a real person, place, or event. Apple is reportedly in talks with Google to bring the company's Gemini AI technology to the iPhone. Apple is also considering a possible partnership with ChatGPT. The AI features could be built into Apple products as early as this year. In January, Samsung added a series of AI-branded features to some of its Galaxy smartphones. Finally, Sony is reportedly pausing production of its PlayStation VR2 headset. The device launched last February as an accessory for the PlayStation 5 and cost about $550. But Bloomberg says sales are slowing due to a lack of game content. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
5:19, and here's RJ.
Yes, guys, and I do want to confirm I do love my job.
Yes,
I like hanging out with you.
We like
you guys are the perks of hanging out with
is the
some good
boss
sense.
watching or something?
I don't know. RJ, Ashley, Mario, you guys up at 5 a.m.?
RJ's agent's watching.
Maybe. We shall see. All right, guys, take a quick look here at the roads. 37 in Hackberry. Traffic moving pretty good, both directions there. So we get one more there. I-10 there in the downtown area. Of course, we have that Culebra Road exit that's going to be closed for our drivers coming in I-10 eastbound and US 98 Leon Creek. Traffic moving pretty good there in both directions. Same situation there. Northeast side at Pat Booker Road. But we will talk about the northeast side here in just a bit. But first of all, SeaWorld area. We have a stalled vehicle being reported. Eastbound lanes of 151 at Westover Hills Boulevard Of course, still seeing traffic move through this area. Not too many people on the roads right now, but of course we will keep an eye on this. 151 gets very busy throughout the entire morning, so that's something we will keep an eye on. 151 eastbound at Westover Hills. Speaking of the northeast side, we are starting to see some traffic build up here. This is ongoing construction here. They're doing some work here, some asphalt work. I-35 southbound from Weidner all the way down to Walsham. So you do see some backup in this area right now. The report was that they were going to wrap things up by 6 o'clock this morning. So hopefully that will be the case. But again, this is some ongoing situation here that we have on the northeast expansion. A lot of construction taking place in that area. All right, so we have some drone video to show you of this closure that we were talking about. Well, not a closure. It's actually a one-way traffic switch that's taking place in the downtown area. So check this out. So we took drone 12 out there to beautiful Hemisphere. That area there, of course, is under a lot of construction, though. That's not always a great sight to see, but we want to get a look here at some of the aerial views of that one-way traffic and see exactly what's going on there. So again, South Alamo, as of yesterday, is now one way all the way from Market down to Cesar Chavez. So you will not be able to go northbound on South Alamo right now. You will be detoured off to St. Mary's and South Bresa Street. So thanks to our photographers that went out and shot some of this video for us. Always a good perspective to see what's going on out there in terms of construction. So this is going to last for the next couple of months at least. Hopefully they could clear things out, but there are pedestrian walkways, so you can still get to La Villita and of course the Fairmont Hotel if you need to go out there for any type of reason in the Hemisphere or Civic Park area. All right, Mike, it's feeling a little chilly outside this morning. How are things looking?
Definitely. And it was interesting to see that new building down there too, right there at La Villita. Big glass building there.
So like that mixed, it's like a hotel, it's a apartment building, hotel. They're doing a lot of different things down there. Yeah.
It's progress. So, all right. Thank you very much, sir. All right. Gorgeous picture yesterday. Sunset over there at Woodlawn Lake from our friend, Mr. McClellan. Thank you very much for that. And looks like all the ducks are enjoying it as well. Yeah. Grab a jacket before you head out this morning. We do have, you can sort of see a little bit off in the distance there. We're looking down to the south from our I-10 410 camera. Some of the clouds that are hanging around here, and they are going to be thickening up throughout the day if they have not already started to thicken up. As far as dew points, they are about 4 degrees lower than what they were at this time yesterday. So even a little bit drier air, 10 degrees lower there at Gonzales, 18 at Beeville. And the dry air is going to be sticking around throughout today. It's going to be comfortable today. It's going to be cool today with that dry air. But then watch what happens in the overnight hours. The wind shifts around to the southeast. Humidity starts to come back in here by tomorrow morning. And then by tomorrow afternoon, we're back to when you hit 60, you start to feel it. So humidity comes on in here. And that's going to be about the time when we start to see a couple of stray showers around the area. For today, basically just a lot of clouds, a little bit of sunshine thrown in, especially earlier in the day. We're going to make it up to 55 at noon and top off at 61. That's it for a high temperature later on this afternoon. Now, here's what it looks like tomorrow. We've got a lot of clouds today, clouds overnight, and then showers are going to start to work their way in here by tomorrow evening. Maybe 1 or 2 of them in the afternoon, but not a really great chance. Now, and again, broad brush, long range computer model, but we do have that chance for some rain late tomorrow night, early Thursday. Looks like a wet commute Thursday morning, and some of those showers are now, long range models have that sticking around throughout a good chunk of the day on Thursday, finally moving on out of here. Also, as they move through right now, there is a very small chance 1 or 2 of them could be on the strong side, especially down to the south, and that's going to carry over. That would be early Thursday, and then beg your pardon on that banner up there, but this would be then later in the day on Thursday off to the east where something would be a potentially stronger storm. All right, here's what it looks like today. 61 degrees today. Spring begins tonight just after 10 o'clock, and it's not going to feel like it for even the first day of spring. 64 tomorrow. Lots of clouds around here. We do have some showers hanging around then tomorrow night, and then throughout the day on Thursday. Again, some may be on the stronger side. Then we are going to get into Friday, and it's going to be hot on Friday, up to 80. Temperatures will sort of rebound a little bit down to the mid 70s, about normal over the weekend with more clouds around here.
More spring-like.
Yes, just where it should be, 75 degrees this weekend.
All right, but for now, we'll bundle up. Thanks, Mike.
Tuesday morning, 5:24.
Up next, fans jumping and dancing at Taylor Swift's concerts register seismically. Plus, your first look at Gillian Anderson and Scoop.
Today in entertainment news, a movie about an earth-shaking interview and the superstar whose concerts literally shake the earth.
Here's CNN's David Daniel with the Hollywood Minute.
Welcome to the Eras Tour.
It's official, Taylor Swift concerts are seismic events. Caltech measured the effect of 70,000 fans jumping and dancing at the Los Angeles shows where Swift filmed her Eras Tour movie. Researchers calculated the strongest tremor was equivalent to a magnitude 2 earthquake. They set up their sensors after reports of a Swift concert in Seattle that caused the equivalent of a 2.3 magnitude quake.
The FBI are raiding Epstein's home. You can't stay silent. South drawing room, 2 chairs, 6 feet apart.
It's like a Western. Make no mistake, if we don't get the tone right, the story won't be him. It'll be us.
Your Royal Highness.
Here's your first look at Scoop, a dramatization of how the women of BBC Newsnight got its infamous interview with Prince Andrew. Gillian Anderson, Billy Piper, Keeley Hawes, and Rufus Sewell star. Scoop debuts on Netflix April 5th. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
It's now 5:28.
Let's go ahead and look at realtors are facing new rules on how they can make commissions. Coming up, how the change could affect the way we buy and the way we sell houses.
Good morning to you. It is Tuesday, the 19th of March.
That's right. It is March, but it feels kind of like last month.
Yeah,
February.
exactly.
Very cold.
And the last morning of winter officially, spring begins tonight. Sure ain't feeling like it. I'll tell you that because you need a jacket this morning all day long, into tomorrow morning as well, and then it's shorts and flip-flops. So yeah, go figure. That's just kind of the way it is in spring around here. And we've got some clouds hanging around. There were a lot of breaks this morning when I was coming into work, and you can see some of those breaks right up there just underneath that banner right now. We're looking down to the south from the I-10-410 camera. The clouds will be thickening up throughout the course of the day, and that's going to help to hold temperatures down. Right now, it's kind of holding things up a little bit. We're actually slightly below normal, but we've gone up a degree or two. 50, dew point at 40, no wind to speak of. So with a drier air and no wind, we could still continue to drop down to low 40s. But again, we've got that little bit of a blanket out there with the clouds. We do have mid-40s out in parts of the hill country. 43 is the cool spot right now up the road in Bernie. 52 at Stinson, 48 at Seguin. And we got a lot of mold, although mold came down from the previous day's reading. Oak went up yesterday. And yeah, it just seems like it's hitting this morning. I don't know about you, but if you're an oak sufferer, yeah, definitely feeling it this morning. Hackberry, mulberry are both on the low side. Throughout the rest of today, 55 at noon. So again, clouds continue to thicken up as the day rolls on. 61 high temperature. We're going to be almost 15 below normal today. Like I said, winter is not giving up at all. Lots of clouds hanging around here tonight. And then the first full day of spring, not going to feel like it. It will eventually, and then we got some spring showers and storms in the forecast as well. Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, anything cooking yet, RJ?
All right, Mike, yeah, as you mentioned, would not blame you if you had to warm up the car a little bit before you hit the roads. But if you are about to head outside, things looking pretty good in terms of traffic. 281 to the quarry, traffic moving pretty good. Both directions there. Same situation here at 281 in Divine, a little bit further up north in the San Antonio area. Same situation, I-10 at Wurzbach. We still have this stalled vehicle that TxDOT's reporting out in the eastbound lanes of 151 at Westover Hills. Now, we don't have any TransGuide cameras in that area, so we'll just take TxDOT at their word right now. This is still an ongoing situation there. Eastbound lanes 151 Westover Hills for all of our traffic, all of our drivers coming in from the 1604 and the SeaWorld area. Take you now to downtown because this is something that actually started yesterday. So they have blocked the exit ramp there at I-10 eastbound at Culebra Road. They're doing all that bridge joint work. We've been talking about that now going on for a few weeks now, all the bridge joint work that's taking place here at the downtown, the Y area. So right now that traffic will be detoured if you're coming in eastbound onto Colorado Street. Just keep in mind this Culebra Road exit, which a lot of people use to get to this part of the west side, that will be closed through this Friday. But as far as everything else is looking pretty good. We are still seeing a little bit of construction delays on the northeast side from Weiner to Walsham, but it looks like traffic is getting through that area right there. So we will continue to monitor the latest conditions on the roads. Mark and Stephanie, back to you guys.
Thank you, RJ. A Texas immigration law will remain on hold. The U.S. Supreme Court is issuing an indefinite pause on SB 4. The law would allow law enforcement in Texas to arrest people who are suspected of entering the country illegally. The pause will stay in place while the court considers emergency appeals from the Biden administration, as well as other groups challenging the law. Bexar County Sheriff Javier Salazar is among those who shared thoughts following that decision.
I still disagree with the way this law was written and put out. The federal government, the federal law lays out pretty substantially, pretty clearly that as local law enforcement officers, we don't have the authority to arrest somebody solely for immigration issues, right? If they break another law, that's something totally different. But just solely based upon immigration issues, the federal law lays out that we don't have the authority to do that.
The sheriff went on to say that if SB 4 ultimately does go into effect, there's a new policy that's been drafted that would lay out exactly what authority a deputy would have or not have. Governor Abbott also posted this on X saying, quote, SCOTUS temporarily halted enforcement of SB 4, but Texas is still using its authority to arrest illegal immigrants for criminal trespass and other violations of the law. We continue building the wall using NG to erect razor wire barriers to repel migrants, and buoys remain in river, end quote.
You may have seen this trending story on our website and social media. The Bexar County Sheriff's Office arrested a man after deputies say he tried to break into a home on the west side with a crowbar. Take a look. It was all caught on camera. Sheriff Salazar says 21-year-old Sebastian Beltran is the one in the video. He's now charged with burglary. Deputies believe there was someone with Beltran at the time of the attempted break-in, but no other arrests have been made.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention warning about a global uptick in measles. So this health alert comes ahead of the spring and summer travel season. The CDC is calling on doctors to encourage vaccinations, especially for children traveling internationally. The U.S. eliminated measles as an epidemic, but some imported cases are still seen every year. So far this year, there have been 58 cases in 17 jurisdictions.
Across the country, state bans and restrictions seek to decrease the level of abortions.
As CNN's Amy Kiley reports, 2 new reports suggest the increased focus on access might be contributing to a rise.
A report out today indicates more than 1 million abortions happened last year. That marks the highest rate in over a decade. It's from a sexual and reproductive rights think tank and indicates a 10% climb between 2020 and last year. That's despite the Supreme Court Dobbs decision falling in between. The Guttmacher Institute attributes the jump to a greater focus on increasing access.
We've seen nearly 100% increase in patients coming here from outside of our state.
Given state bans, some patients travel for an abortion. Others don't even leave home. A second Guttmacher report posted today indicates medication accounted for almost 2/3 of abortions last year. In some states, the pills are available by mail without visiting a clinic, but that could change. Several physicians are suing the FDA over the abortion drug mifepristone. They allege the agency ignored safeguards when making it easier to get. That case is pending in the Supreme Court, which accepted it last year.
The safety profile on this drug is good, if not better, than when it was originally reviewed.
Meanwhile, abortion battles continue at the state and federal level and on the campaign trail. Here's President Joe Biden speaking yesterday when signing an executive order on women's health.
Those bragging about overturning Roe v. Wade have no clue about the power of women.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
538, 49 degrees.
Let's look out there with 49 degrees. Yes, a cold start to your day, and it's going to kind of stay chilly all day long. But if you are not a fan of the cold weather, we're looking forward to changes by Friday. We'll be right back.
542, if you're having trouble sleeping, you're not alone. As a matter of fact, you're preaching to the choir here on GMSA. 1 in 3 of us, or 4, is not getting good quality sleep.
But there are a lot of products out there claiming that with just 1 dose, you'll supposedly be dozing right off. 12 on your side's Marilyn Moritz looks at some sleep supplements and drugs that promise those sweet dreams.
We've all been there. You have a rough night's sleep and the next day is no fun.
The truth is, not sleeping enough isn't just annoying. It can actually contribute to serious health problems, including diabetes, high blood pressure, weight gain, and depression.
Many people turn to over-the-counter sleep drugs, but they can leave you feeling drowsy the next day. And prescription sleep meds, even the newer ones, come with additional risks.
Some have also been linked to sleepwalking and other odd nighttime behaviors. So you should take the lowest dose for the shortest time possible.
One option is CBD. It's shown to have mild side effects and is not addictive. Be sure it doesn't react with other medications, though.
If you suffer from chronic insomnia, before you turn to CBD, it's actually time to make an appointment with your physician. He or she can help you with a more proven therapy called cognitive behavioral therapy, which helps focus on behaviors that can improve your sleep.
And what about melatonin? Consumer Reports says it might be a good option for people who work night shifts or are jet lagged. But taking more than what your body produces can cause you to be sleepy or mentally or physically slow the next day. Start off with a low dose and never take a dose higher than 10 milligrams. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
I think I'm bulletproof when it comes to melatonin. Does nothing
After
for
all
me.
these
And
years.
I know everybody's different.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's been a long time that you've been on the early morning shift. It works for me now, but maybe not as much as it used to.
I also recommend half a peanut butter and jelly and some milk at bedtime. Just saying. Dr. Austin here. 544, 49 degrees.
Give that a try. Well, New Braunfels police have a brand new tool in their arsenal. Up next, what this new vehicle can do and how much it's going to cost.
And checking TransGuide, some traffic coming right at you there at I-10 at Wurzbach, where we had some construction yesterday in the westbound lanes, but things are wide open this morning. So is 35 upper and lower here in the downtown area at Maine. 547, the New Braunfels Police Department adding a new vehicle to its fleet to keep the community safe when emergencies and disasters happen.
The new Negotiations and Tactical Command vehicle costs about $700,000. It features different technology and cameras. The vehicle will be operated as a command hub for different situations.
We have dozens of events throughout the year, Worst Fest, Wine and Singer Fest, Wausau Fest, just to name a few. So we're very busy throughout the year with that. Plus, we do have the unexpected events that do come up where there may be some type of hostage or negotiation situation or where SWAT is involved. And this will really give us the tools to be at that scene, take command of the scene.
The vehicle includes perimeter cameras, an observation area at the top of the vehicle, and spaces where officers can work.
Let's see what observations RJ is making about our morning commute.
Yeah, guys, things looking pretty good out there. If you are about to hit the roads right now, of course, feeling a little chilly out there, so maybe want to warm up the vehicle before you head outside the door. Take a look here at 35 US 90, a little bit south of downtown. Traffic moved pretty good there. 37 at Jones Avenue, same situation there as well. As we take a look at our citywide map, and you see that there's not very many incidents to let you know about right now. Right now, the only thing that we've seen over the past half hour or so has been a stalled vehicle out on 151 eastbound there at the Westover Hills Boulevard. But again, not causing any major delays, but again, traffic expected to pick up as we get closer to our 6 o'clock hour. Let's take a look at some times right now. Look exactly what we're looking at. We're heading out right now. If you're headed out to Bernie, 25 minutes, 21 minutes out to Bulverde, 27 minutes out to New Braunfels. Now some inbound traffic time. Let's go to the south side. A little bit here. So Floresville is going to take you about 24 minutes to get into town and 26 minutes if you're coming up from the Pleasanton area. All right, so gas prices. Here we go. Not looking good here because we have gone over the $3 mark across the San Antonio area and also the state of Texas. So we're looking at $3.12 right now. That is a 20-cent increase from just a month ago. A couple of things here, guys. Obviously, we're seeing higher gas prices over the past 3 weeks. Gasoline demand is rising. Over spring break, we saw a lot of that, people getting out. We also have the summer gasoline switchover and continued refinery maintenance. But according to Gas Buddy, they do say that hopefully we have seen the peak of this and they will start to see some gas prices drop here over the next month or so, hopefully, because $3.12, not pretty out there at the pump.
Yeah. From what I understand, they typically start to come down around Memorial Day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we will keep an eye on that.
Yes.
That would be good.
Yes.
A little light came on in my car. I gotta get gas.
You gotta go again. Yeah.
Thanks for the good news.
Just a reminder.
This makes you forget about high gas prices. And what a beautiful picture. Now, Mark was just wondering if indeed those are sunflowers. I don't know. Where's Acosta when we need her? It's pretty, whatever they are.
Yeah,
and,
they are pretty.
Great shot, though, with that fire hydrant right there. Received the push notification. Thank you for that KSAT Connect picture, Oscar. All right, looking at the skyline right now, we've got very low humidity out there, so you can kind of make out, obviously, all the buildings, all the lights looking up to the north. We do have some kind of broken clouds as of right now. Yesterday, we did hit 65 degrees, again, 10 below normal, and that was the case pretty much all around. I mean, a little bit warmer down here along the coastal plain. Didn't even crack 60 out there in Rock Springs, and today, you can take off about 4 or 5 degrees. We are going to be, on average, 15 below normal, and that's going to be the situation all around the metropolitan area. Even a couple of areas won't even crack 60 out there in Helotes and very close to it around Von Ormy, as well as Lackland and Castroville later on today. So you're definitely going to need a jacket throughout the day. Temperatures, we're in the mid 40s, some low 50s right now. Will fluctuate a degree or two. Again, we've got dry air, we've got light winds, so 2 of the 3 perfect ingredients for good radiational cooling, but a few of those clouds acting like a little bit of a blanket, and then what little bit of clearing we have is just going to sort of fill in throughout the day, so we'll have mostly cloudy skies as the day rolls on. 55 degrees at noon, and again 61 for a high temperature later on today. Tomorrow, plenty of clouds hanging around here. Still, it's going to be on the cool side. Normal high 75. We're not going to be hitting that tomorrow. And as the day rolls on, we'll start to see a few showers. Now, this is the long range model. Again, I always have to point out it's kind of a broad brush as far as painting in where the rain is, but we will have showers and a few thunderstorms in the overnight hours, especially tomorrow morning and throughout a good chunk of the day. Then they're going to start to move on out of here by late in the afternoon. And once again, some of those, as of right now, Storm Prediction Center has the kind of, well, almost all of our viewing area under a very small risk. This would be late tomorrow night and in the overnight hours, and then continuing on into Thursday as everything works its way off to the east. The very small chance for a stray, strong to severe storm. High winds, hail going to be the biggest threats with that. Now, obviously, as we draw nearer, we'll see what those updates are. So 61 today, 64 tomorrow, still 10 below normal. Rain chances move in late in the day, overnight, and then again throughout a good chunk of the day. We'll start to clear out late on Thursday. Also notice the difference in temperatures. We go from 64 tomorrow, 78 Thursday, and then sunshine is going to put us up to 80 on Friday. Temperatures will sort of rebound a little bit with a couple of extra clouds around here. By the weekend, 75 degrees. So it's going to be a little bit on the, well, not humid, but enough to keep us right around 60. So not really jacket weather this weekend. Sort of a tranquil first weekend of spring.
That's true.
Not bad.
Doing your taxes over there?
Oh, I'm writing down
a lot of
jackpots.
All I know is I didn't win, so. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Let me cross that out.
Not for Mike.
553, 49 degrees. No lotto for you.
2 people in Texas got $1 million.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. They were lucky people.
Wasn't me.
So here are your winning lotto numbers. Pick 3, 530, Fireball 8, Daily 4, 4733, Fireball 8.
Cash 5, 13, 16, 18, 20, 22. Texas two-step 23, 24, 27, 30, and a bonus ball of 16. And Powerball, there it is. Jackpot's up to $687 million. Megas tonight, $875 million.
Good morning. It is great to be with you. Coming up here on a Tuesday, we are following former President Trump's money problems as he says that he is unable to secure a bond to cover the nearly $500 million that he owes in the New York civil fraud case. So what could come next? Also, the race to rescue Americans trapped in Haiti. Matt Rivers is on the scene this morning. And deals and steals for spring. Plus, Jake Gyllenhaal here live talking about his new movie. You'll see it all on GMA.
Fallout continues after the trial of Jose Ruiz. Why the mother of the San Antonio child who died of abuse could still face serious jail time. And up next, the Spurs back in action tonight here in the Alamo City. We'll preview their matchup against their I-35 rivals, the Dallas Mavericks. And checking TransGuide as we go to break. There's 35 upper and lower levels are moving here in the downtown area at North Main. There's 35 at 37. Traffic updates coming up after the break.
Rise and shine. Let's look out there with live cam. We are starting at 49 degrees. And as I was driving into work this morning, I was like, well, maybe I should enjoy wearing this jacket, you know, for now, because you know what's going to happen a few months down the line.
Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
And a good morning to you. Rise and shine. It's Tuesday, March 19th.
Thanks for joining us. We hope you had a good weekend. We hope you are enjoying the cooler weather for now.
Yeah, it is very cool out there. We are, Mike, now 16 hours and about 5 minutes away from the beginning of spring 2024.
Yes, indeed. Right just after 10 o'clock tonight, when the actual rays of the sun go across the equator into the northern hemisphere, and then it's summer around here. But it's not feeling like spring. It feels more like winter, like I've been saying. It feels like it should be, you know, about a month ago or so with these cool temperatures. A lot of dry air in place, so that's why nice view of the skyline out there. Still holding at 50. Same thing, New Braunfels, Port SA, 51 Castroville, and mid-40s in the hill country. We've got very still air right now, and like I said, low humidity, but we've got a little bit of a cloud cover, so that's kind of acting like a slight blanket out there. Mold is high. It came down, though, from the previous day's reading. Oak went up. Don't know about you, but boy, it's hitting this morning, and Hackberry and Mulberry are both on the low side. Throughout the rest of today, 55 degrees today at noon. We've got a few breaks here and there. Partly cloudy skies being reported around a lot of the area, but then clouds are definitely going to be kind of filling in. We'll see some sunshine mixed in, but leaning toward the cloudy side, which is going to keep temperatures right at 61. So we're going to be cooler than yesterday and almost 15 below normal. Still stays cool for the first full day of spring tomorrow. Then we have some rain chances moving in here. Then we're going to be warming up. Plus, we'll take a look ahead to the weekend forecast, which looks not too bad. Details in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, RJ Marquez. What's cooking, sir?
All right, Mike. Yeah, things looking pretty good if you're about to hit the roads right now to start your Tuesday morning commute. As we take a quick look here, 37 Hackberry. Traffic moving pretty smooth in both directions there. Take a look there at our camera there at I-10 downtown area. See if we get one more real quick here. 90 at Leon Creek on the west side. On the northwest side now, we're going to take you to a stalled vehicle. We have eastbound lanes of 151 at Westover Hills Boulevard. It's been out there for about 30 minutes or so. TxDOT reporting that the shoulder is closed on the eastbound lanes of 151. So if you're about to come in from the 1604 area and get into the SeaWorld area, you may run into this stalled vehicle out there, and hopefully get that cleared out soon. It's been out there for a little while. Speaking of being out here for a little while, a lot of construction taking place here. I just saw the TransGuide camera, and there's a pretty good buildup of traffic still here in this area because of lingering construction, overnight construction on 35 on the northeast side, 35 south especially, Topper Wine Road all the way up to Pat Booker. We still have a pretty good backup there and delays because of ongoing construction. Again, the Northeast Expansion Project. And the exit ramp is now closed for I-10 eastbound at Culebra Road. So if you're coming into the downtown area from the northwest side, keep in mind that you will be detoured onto the Colorado Street exit as they continue the bridge joint work there at the downtown, the I-10 at the Y project. This closure is going to be in place through this Friday. All right, speaking of overnight news here, we did have a crash actually that happened on the far west side. We do have some video of this from overnight. So a man was driving on the far west side. This is out by Wiseman Boulevard near Brennan High School when he went off the road and actually crashed into some bushes and trees, excuse me. So this happened just after 2 a.m. this morning on Alamo Parkway at Crockett. The man was taken to the hospital with injuries, but is expected to be okay. And you do see right there that it was the only vehicle involved in this crash. But as far as current traffic situations, everything else is looking pretty good out there. Mark and Stephanie.
Thank you, RJ. New this morning, San Antonio police and SWAT had their hands full with the situation on the west side of town overnight. Happened just hours ago on Southwest 29th near South General McMullen. Here you can see a big police presence with officers bringing in shields and other heavy equipment. Investigators were worried it was a hostage situation because shots were fired and people were inside the house. Neighbors called police because they also heard gunshots. The good news, officers were able to resolve the situation and no one was hurt. It's been over 2 years since 5-year-old Mercedes Lozoya died, and the man convicted of abusing her will spend the rest of his life in prison.
Erica Hernandez has been following this case since Jose Ruiz and Mercedes' mother, Katrina Mendoza, were first indicted almost 2 years ago.
She breaks down the brutal testimony and what comes next for the mom, Mendoza.
Was sentenced to life in prison for the death of Mercedes Lozoya. It was a long evening, but jurors only took 45 minutes to find him guilty and 15 to sentence him to life. We spoke with Mercedes' great-grandmother after the verdict, and this is what she had to say.
This is an example that we have to believe in the justice, which wasn't easy at first, but I do believe in it now and more than ever. And if you ever see any child suffering, do not hesitate to call police or call authorities.
Was justice served today?
Yes, justice was served. And I'm very, very thankful for that.
As far as Katrina Mendoza, she is still facing her sentencing date. She took a plea deal. The max she can get is 45 years. There is no date set for that yet. As for Ruiz, he will now be transferred to a Texas prison where he will serve his term. At the Cadena Reeves Justice Center, Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
We will continue to follow the aftermath of this case since Mendoza still faces a maximum punishment of 45 years in prison. KSAT 12 will live stream what comes next from gavel to gavel. You can watch the trial on our website, KSAT.com, KSAT Plus, and KSAT's YouTube channel.
In your other morning headlines, new details in the case of a Utah wife, mother, and children's book author charged with murdering her husband.
As ABC's Derek Dennis reports, investigators now believe her mother may have also been involved.
This morning, new allegations in the case of Corey Richens, the Utah mother accused of killing her husband, Eric, by poisoning him with fentanyl, then writing a children's book on dealing with grief. Investigators now claim Richens may have had help from her mother, Lisa Darden. Darden spoke about the case late last year and claimed Eric may have accidentally overdosed on his own.
I believe Eric may have gotten pain pills and didn't realize that they had fentanyl in them. If you knew Corey, she would never, ever do this, not only to Eric, but to those boys.
Newly unsealed documents reveal Lisa Darden was living with a woman back in 2006 who also died suddenly from an overdose. Investigators now say, based on Lisa Darden's proximity to her partner's suspicious overdose death, it is possible she was involved in planning and orchestrating Eric's death. Corey Richens' attorney responded, saying the fact that Ms. Darden's significant other was one of the millions that suffered from and ultimately succumbed to opioid addiction is hardly suspicious. It is tragic and unfortunately quite common. But the similarities may go beyond overdoses. Investigators say Darden benefited from her partner's life insurance policy, just like Richens allegedly tried to do when investigators say she changed Eric's life insurance policy months before his death. Richens has pleaded not guilty to all charges, her attorney also defending Richens' mother, saying the fact that Ms. Darden was the beneficiary of her romantic partner's life insurance policy is also not unique. It only demonstrates that her circumstances are no different than most families in America. Richens is due in court today in a separate case accused of assaulting her sister-in-law. As for Richens' mother, she has not been charged with any crime. Derek Dennis, ABC News.
And before we go to break, if you're not a fan of giant flying insects, it could soon feel like the end of the world, but only if you live in certain parts of the country. So in a few weeks, the brood of cicadas that emerges every 13 years and the brood that emerges every 17 years are about to pop out of the ground at the same time, which last happened in 1803. So some are even calling this spring and summer the cicada apocalypse.
Nothing dramatic about that, right?
No.
It's a big cicada apocalypse.
It'll be loud.
6:08, 50 degrees on your Tuesday morning. Thanks for being with us.
Yes, thank you. And still to come, the Spurs are back from their weekend in Austin to take on the Dallas Mavericks tonight at Prospect Center.
And after the break, a new county and state program is educating both kids and parents to stop mental health spirals before they start. Why a teen we spoke to believes it'll work.
We got there with live cam, now at 50 degrees, still chilly out there, but if you don't like the chilly weather, just know it's going to change in a few days. We're going to check in with Mike for all those details for this week and weekend coming up.